Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elizabeth, the Education Coordinator for Marlene's Market and Deli. This afternoon's special guest, and it's always an honor to work with the lovely local Carl Anderson. He is a Bach Flower Remedies practitioner and Bach Flower animal or remedy animal practitioner, and we are always thrilled to have him with us. Thank you so much, Carl.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And thank all of you for joining in. I appreciate it. Um, some of you may have attended one of these little lectures before that I've given, and you may have seen a lot of similar information. Today, I'm going to give a slightly shortened version that I've given. I'm not going to go over every single remedy, but just go over the kind of basic concepts and then highlight a few remedies that pertain to this month's focus feature, which is matters of the heart. So um, here we go. Here's a brief intro to, oops, okay. We're just going to go on here. Dr. Edward Bach, his name was pronounced Batch because he was Welsh, not German. And anyway, he was an actual MD and a very, very prominent MD and researcher and bacteriologist and immunologist. He became a pathologist, and later he became a homeopath. And then he developed the Bach Flower Remedies. And the flower remedies are not actually homeopathic. I just wrote a new blog article about that on my website, if anyone wants more information about that. The remedies are similar to homeopathy in that they are energetic or vibrational medicine, but they are not actually homeopathy. They work at a different frequency, and there's only one basic dosage, one potency, I should say, of Bach Flower Remedies, which is sort of equivalent to a 5C in homeopathy. But homeopathic remedies have a full range. You can get up to 500 or 1,000 M, and yeah, whatever. You can go beyond that, from 5C all the way up to really, really high potencies. At any rate, Dr. Bach was a very prominent physician and researcher, and he developed this complete system of 39 natural flower-based remedies. They're simple, safe, natural, and effective. They gently restore emotional balance and well-being. They're suitable for the entire family, people of all ages, and pets of all ages as well, and farm animals and plants, but that's another story. So emotions impact our health, and the Bach Flower Remedies work to resolve the emotional imbalances. Dr. Bach felt that disease was the result of a disharmony between the soul and the personality. So he felt that all disease had an emotional component, even things like bacterial infections and viral infections. Now, this is a concept that is similar to homeopathy also, that he felt that even though, yes, there might be a bacterium or a virus that's causing a problem, but there is still there's a weakness that is created by this, in this case, it's emotional imbalance that allows these things to take hold. So if one was fully balanced emotionally, they would have perfect health. And Dr. Hahnemann kind of felt very similar. He was also dealing with emotions and what he called miasms, or miasmas, that are these weaknesses, inherent weaknesses that we have. And at any rate, traumatic effects can trigger emotional imbalances, obviously PTSD, right? Or the energetic discord of not living in alignment with our higher power. So if we want to be an artist or a poet, and we become an engineer or an accountant, something practical just to satisfy our parents, we're living somebody else's life, not our own. And we are all different. Dr. Bach felt that we were all here and have unique gifts, and we are meant to use those gifts and help humanity and help the world, right? And if we are living somebody else's life, then we're not fulfilling our purpose. And that causes problems because it creates anxiety, depression, even like people may not even know why they feel depressed, but it could be because they've given up a part of themselves. You know, if you really were loved poetry and you gave it up in order to become an accountant or something, that creates serious issues. Um, the first, so it creates an energetic imbalance. And the first sign of an energetic imbalance is an emotional state that's out of balance. So we get stuck in a certain emotion. So we use the emotions as signposts, and the Bach Flower Remedies actually resolve the underlying energetic imbalance that creates that emotion, and then restore peace and well-being. So they work deeper than just resolving emotional issues. They work underneath that. What we know of as disease is the terminal stage of a much deeper disorder. The prevention and cure of disease can be found by discovering the wrong within ourselves and eradicating this fault. And he's not using the words wrong and fault to assign blame, but he's just stating what they are. Don't get stuck on the semantics there. The key here is that if we are honest with ourselves and we truly can try to look at ourselves objectively instead of just glossing over things like, oh no, I'm not impatient or I'm not jealous and just covering it up. But if we actually face those issues and deal with them, we can correct those, okay? And restore peace and harmony to our lives. Keep in mind, his writings were about 100 years ago, and the language was flowery and it was a different time. But at any rate, his intentions were good, and not trying to assign blame, but just saying that we each hold the power. We have the keys. It's within our reach and within our power to make change. So we live in a very high tech, high paced world that can be very impersonal and just productivity driven, and companies want to take people and bring their employees out for every little bit of, everything they can get out of them. And a lot of people devote their lives to work and that sort of thing. So here's a doctor speaking to a patient. Aside from ulcers, heart attacks, bypass surgery, drug and alcohol problems, and broken families, a little hard work never hurt anyone. Just like the pharmaceutical, qualifications, or the list of side effects. There's a pretty long list there. How do the remedies work? They are energetic or vibrational medicine. They aren't herbs. There are no chemical constituents. So herbs like St. John's wort should contain specific chemical compounds. There are no chemical compounds in these, just the energy of the flowers that are used. And that is how they are related, similar to homeopathy, okay? But again, they work at different frequencies. The flower remedies are at a much higher frequency than constitutional homeopathy. So they aren't bound by any of the restrictions that homeopathy has, like avoiding coffee or strong flavors like mint, etc. And these can go through the X-ray machines at the post office, and also at the TSA in the airport. Whereas homeopathy would be neutralized if they went through the X-rays. So each remedy resolves a specific emotional state, and we can personalize blends of up to 7 remedies in one bottle. So you want to take 4 drops from one bottle instead of from 7 different bottles at a time. And that, by taking between 1 and 7 remedies out of the 39 remedies, and without repeating combinations, there are over 15.3 million combinations you can make. So that's a lot of combinations. So every person is almost unique in terms of what they're feeling, and we try to customize blends to address each person's specific state, what they need most at this. And it's always a snapshot in time, because once you start taking the remedies, after a week or two, a remedy bottle that you mix up may last a month, but within a week or two, some of the things you are taking you may not need, because those seem to have faded away, but other things might rise to the surface. So it's always a snapshot in time, but then we reformulate after a month if needed. Okay. They're non-toxic. You can't overdose. There are no side effects. They're not habit forming. no interaction with other treatments, completely safe for all ages and pets, and people don't develop a resistance to them either. So it's not like some things where you may need to increase the dosage because it no longer works for you. You know, you get used to it and you have to therefore up the dose. That does not happen with these either. They are made by two different methods. The energy of the flower is captured by creating potentized water. The first method is the sun method, which is basically sun tea, by setting a bowl of water in the sun for like 2 or 3 hours in direct sunlight and letting the energy transfer to the water. The other method is used for the woodier flowers, usually the tree flowers, and those are boiled and then allowed to cool outside. And in either case, the potentized water is then it's filtered and it's mixed with an equal amount of brandy to make what's called mother tincture. And the alcohol is used as a preservative. It maintains the energy. Without doing that, the potentized water would lose its energy after about a month. Then the bottles that you buy in the store, what we call stock bottles, so what they sell at Marlene's, are there's 2 drops of that mother tincture in each bottle, and the rest is brandy. And again, that's all that's needed. 2 drops of the mother tincture is enough to treat a whole bottle, and then from there, you only use 2 drops out of that bottle. Rescue remedy is what I call the 39th remedy. You'll usually hear that there are 38 remedies, and you might be wondering why 39? Because rescue remedy is a combination of 5 remedies, but it acts as one. So when you're creating a treatment bottle, if you are adding rescue remedy, it counts as 1 remedy. It does not count as 5. And you can still add 6 other remedies in addition to rescue. So whenever you use rescue, you use 4 drops as opposed to 2. But if you're using an individual remedy, you use 2 drops. And rescue contains rock rose, which is for terror, impatience, for that sense of urgency we feel in stressful situations, just wanting to get over it, you know. Cherry plum to help us maintain composure so that we don't lose control and help us have clearer thinking. Star of Bethlehem is for trauma and shock. And clematis is for dreaminess. Oftentimes in stressful situations, people will sort of dissociate or sort of daydream. It's an escape mechanism. They're trying to escape. And if they can't physically escape, they will mentally try to escape, right? So the clematis keeps you grounded. Yes, it also comes in a spray there, as Elizabeth was holding up. It comes in the pastilles, the liquids, the sprays. There's some other forms too. There's an expanded line of products now. There's a gum that also contains L-theanine, which is it's one of the components of black tea that it energizes but also relaxes you at the same time. Then there's some other formulas where there's a Rescue Plus line of gummies, and the Rescue Sleep gummies have melatonin in them as well, and white chestnut that quiets the mind so that you can, if your thoughts are keeping you awake, it's a great formula. And then there's a regular Rescue Sleep in liquid and spray form that does not have the melatonin, it only has the white chestnut added. And the rescue remedies are great for all sorts of things, personal crisis or trauma, whatever, could be anything, and anything that's making you emotional. For accidents, exams, doctor's visits, dental visits, vet visits for pets, public speaking, interviews, airplane travel, any kind of phobia. Rescue remedy is probably the best combination you can get, whether it's phobia of spiders, arachnophobia, phobias of dentists or doctors or airplane travel. It's really amazing. It really helps calm you without being drugged. A lot of people will take Valium or they try to medicate their animals. You should never medicate an animal when flying because they don't know, nobody knows how an animal will react when you get to altitude. So the dose could be way off and it could be way too much. and it can be life-threatening. So you should never give them any kind of sedative when they're flying. Only give them rescue remedy. And United Airlines, Continental Airlines, when it existed, and the American Kennel Association have only recommended rescue remedy when traveling with pets. Rescue is also available in a cream form, and that has one added ingredient, which is crabapple, which is for a sense of uncleanliness or toxicity. And it's amazing for skin issues, like things like eczema and psoriasis that seem to be intractable and don't respond to any kind of medications, will respond to rescue cream or by taking rescue remedy and crabapple orally. Really, really effective. I've had several clients who had, mentioned their eczema or psoriasis, and it went away completely in basically a week or less. So, and the topical can be great for all sorts of things. It's particularly good for hot spots on pets. The one caveat is that your pets may want to lick off the cream, and then their tongues can irritate those spots. So you have to be careful of that. But otherwise, it's really, really great. It makes those heal in no time flat. There's 7 categories that the remedies fall under: fear, uncertainty, insufficient interest in present circumstances, loneliness, oversensitivity to ideas and influences, despondency and despair, and overcare for the welfare of others. And the common complaints that people or issues that people come to me with generally are stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD, grief, hatred, jealousy, racing thoughts, fears and phobias, or unfulfilled ambitions. Just looking for purpose in life, not being satisfied with work, wanting more meaning, that sort of thing. And here's the tooth fairy. I don't care if your tooth isn't loose. I have a deadline. Let's do this. Let's get it done. So she needs a little impatience. And common issues that animals and the things that their owners bring them in for. Things like aggression, separation anxiety, elimination problems, whether it's peeing outside of the box or a dog peeing so excitedly when you come home. Those are elimination problems. Possessiveness, whether it's over food, toys, territorialism, guarding behavior of the house, over grooming, skin disorders, pica or eating disorders, OCD, and stereotypies. That tends to be more common in horses than other animals, more than cats and dogs. Fears and phobias. And the remedies work really well, very well. Some of those are a little harder to treat than others, like the pica can be a little harder to treat, and the OCD sometimes can be, but not nearly as much easier to treat than pica. Here's a ram saying, "I'm a real animal with 2 horns that both go in a curly Q, and does anyone care? No. But oh, people love their damned imaginary unicorns." So he's got a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of resentment, right? So those can be treated with Bach Flower Remedies. The remedies can be used for emergencies, passing moods, long-term situations, or deep-seated life patterns and personality traits. So no matter how long you've been dealing with something, the remedies can help. And we often refer to our emotions as being like an onion with all these layers of emotion. And as we take the remedies, we're peeling away typically the 7 outermost layers. And the deeper we go, you peel away more layers and you're getting towards that core. And this cartoon is very apt because disappointed, you ask if I'm disappointed. Well, Arthur, after 38 years of patiently peeling away one onion layer after another, I'll admit I had hoped there was something more than a tough green sprout thingy at your core. It's almost as if this were written for Bach Flower Remedies. But anyway, that's that. So let's, I want to open it up the reason I did this shorter presentation, I'm just going to quickly say that there are 4 different classes one can take. Usually there are 2 different level 1s. People can take the standard level 1, which is which really only addresses people and how to work with them. Level 1 for people and pets actually goes over all the same information as the regular level 1, but it has the basics of animal behavior and talks specifically about certain issues with animals. And half the exercises and case studies are dealing with people, half of them are dealing with pets. So it gives you all the same information as the other level 1, but it has more. Okay. So if somebody's at all even remotely interested in working with animals, then we would suggest this class. Then level 2 is an advanced workshop, and level 3 is practitioner training. So I teach all of these classes, and here in Seattle, I'm the level 1s I will do online. I will only do the level 2 and level 3 in person. I have a whole series of classes offered this spring and this fall. I'm offering all 3 of these: level 1 people and pets, and level 2. Level 3 I'm postponing until I get firm commitments from people, but I can schedule that at any time. I'm also teaching all 3 of these classes in the fall. So if you're interested, you can go to my website and get that information. There are lots of books written on the flower remedies. I don't recommend most because a lot of them, the authors are trying to create their own spin. And when they're doing that, they're complicating the remedies. Dr. Bach wanted them to be simple, and these 3 books, are to the core of the matter. The Heal Thyself talks about Dr. Bach's philosophy, and the 12 Healers goes over all 39 remedies. The name was first published when there were only 12 remedies, but it became a national bestseller in England. So he kept the title and just revised it as when there were all of a sudden 19 remedies, and then when there were 39 remedies. So same title. The 38 Flower Remedies is also a great little booklet that all 3 of these are very small booklets, and this also gives good information on the 38 remedies plus rescue 39 remedies. And then here's my information. If anyone wants, you can reach me at, that's my website. There's my email, my phone number, and then the Bach Center's website. So if any of you are interested, you might want to take a snapshot of that and then record that. And I'd like to open it up to questions. I see there are a couple chats here. Okay. Yes, would like to check out the website? Okay, so I will type it here again for everybody. That is, I spelled it right. That is my website. And there's a lot of good information on there. There's, like I said, I just created a new blog article about the differences between homeopathy, the flower remedies, and homeopathy. So that is listed on there. If you go to the section on how does somebody know which remedies to choose in order to restore balance? So the best way, there's a little brochure. Do you have any of those, Elizabeth, still in the store? The selection guides.
I do believe so, yes. I know the last time you had came down, you had brought a couple extra, but we could always use more.
Yeah, I will. They call it simplify the search. It looks like this. It's fading in and out because of the virtual background. But anyway, it's a little trifold for sure. I'll bring more down to you or send some down to you.
Thank you.
So this is it's a questionnaire basically. And there's actually, I don't know if I've got that on my website. I should post it on my website. This is the new version, this simplify the search. There was an old one that was just called the Bach questionnaire. And I do have, I have to see if, I don't remember if I added that to my website, but that can be helpful just to get in touch. And it's as a guide. The very best way is if you really like learn about the remedies, but you can also do consultations. I offer consultations. I am a practitioner, and most consultations, they can go up to an hour, but usually like if people know what they're feeling, if I don't have to pull a lot of teeth, we can do the session in half an hour, and that's $60, and that includes your custom blend. If it goes to an hour, then it's I just charge for my time. I don't charge for the remedies themselves. And when I
Oh,
do
that's such a
refills,
deal.
when I do, yeah, it really is. I mean, it's certainly a lot cheaper than going to a psychologist or a counselor or something. And the remedies, if I do a refill, it's just $30 for the blend. And if you were to, so if there's 7 remedies in there and you were to buy them individually, they run about $17 a piece at Marlene's, plus tax though, right?
I believe so,
So
yes.
they run about $19 with tax, probably. Um, and if you were to buy 7 remedies, that's $140, right? So
Oh,
um, so so and just to have those on hand, and then you might need a different set of remedies a month later. To answer your question, how long does a bottle last? Typically, we don't we use a 1 ounce bottle, and we suggest the standard dose is 4 drops 4 times a day. So you take 16 drops a day, basically, and that will last about 4.5 weeks. They usually won't expire by then. So they will normally keep their potency as long as you keep them out of the sun and away from heat sources so you certainly don't keep them on a windowsill, and don't set them where direct sunlight can get to them where they can overheat, because then they can lose their potency within hours or a day, right? But otherwise, they should last about 4 weeks. And typically, a bottle will last 4 weeks. And at that point, you typically want to revisit it, because you may have peeled the onion. So some of the things that were already in there, you may not need it. But other things have then risen to the surface. And so we want to address those. So we don't make a 6-month supply, because the chances are you will outgrow all of those things within a matter of weeks, right? So so we want you to be able to like revisit and rethink and refigure out reformulate what you need. So when like I said, if to do a refill, if you were just want the same remedies and nothing is, you're feeling better, but nothing else has come up, and you just want to refill the same remedy, that's just a standard $30, because it's basically 15 minutes of my time. So I don't actually charge for the remedies, I'm charging for my time. And if I have to mail the remedies, I always mail them in the flat rate box, priority mail box, so that they don't break. And that postage, whether it's mailing across town, I have people who want them mailed across town in Seattle, and or if they're going to Florida, the Florida Keys, or to Alaska or Hawaii, it's still the same flat rate. It's $10.40. It just went up to 10.40. So that's in addition to the actual fee. So yeah, consultations are great. But I have a list. If you go to my website, let's see. Allow me to do it. Let's see. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So here's my website. And there's some links directly here, but
oh,
there's a, yes.
hey, Carl. We are still seeing just the slideshow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Is
That's
that
right. Sorry. Good to say. Let's see here. Let's do this. Where is stop sharing and then reshare? Sorry about that.
no worries.
Screen share. Here we go. Okay. So here's my website. This is the way it opens up. And there's a full menu right here, like where after more. So these are the main things that people come for. Just home about the Bach Flower Remedies. This is good introduction to what they, how they work and what they are. Description. Oops. There's a video here, which is great. The Journey to Simple Healing, and a little description of them there. My bio is here, and then there's consultations for people. It's a little lag time. And consultations for animals. And then there's more things here. Radio interviews, classes, and lectures. So the upcoming classes are here. And at the end of this month, 4 Saturdays and Sundays, 2 weekends, I'm teaching the regular level 1 online. And then I'm doing in person the People and Pets course March 10th, 9th, and 10th here in Seattle. And then May 18th and 19th is a level 2 in person in Seattle. And then in the fall, I'm teaching the People and Pets online over 4 days, 2 weekends. And then in October, it's the level 1 will be live in Seattle, and then level 2 live in Seattle in November. Like I said, level 3, I am waiting for a few people to establish dates. So here's a brief description, just a 1-line description for each of the remedies. Could write half a book on each one of these, but this is just distilling it to the simplest thing. Agrimony is for people who hide their emotions or stuff them away. Pretend that everything's fine, put a smile on the face. They don't want to dwell on the negative. They always want to project the positive, and they basically bury their emotions or bottle them up. And that's not healthy. Aspen is for generalized anxiety, sort of waiting for the other shoe to fall, expecting something bad to happen, but you don't know what, when, or where, and you're just on edge waiting for it. Beech is for being overly critical or judgmental of others. Intolerance. Centaur is for those who are weak-willed. They put others' needs above their own, and they don't take care of their own needs, and eventually they become resentful, right? Serato is for those who don't trust their own judgment. So they always ask, well, what do you think I should do? Or what would you do in my situation, right? So they need validation. They might know what to do, but they need validation instead of just trusting themselves. So it helps you trust yourself. Cherry plums for those for losing control, fear of losing control. And so you might be on the edge. It could be rage, but it can also be metaphorical, like losing control. You don't have control or self-control when it comes to food or gambling. So it can really be helpful with addiction as well. Chestnut bud to learn from past mistakes. Chicory for possessiveness, overprotective people. Helicopter moms, the classic chicories, right? Anyway, so there's a long list here with a picture and a description of each remedy, which can be very helpful and can help you choose. The blog articles. And these are good. This are the Bach Flower Remedies of Homeopathy. So there's an article here that you could view. How to quiet an overactive mind. How remedies can help low self-esteem and body shame. Remedies for depression. How to cope with COVID-19. How to take the remedies. Remedies for the brokenhearted, which is again sort of the theme of the month. One aspect of it. And I have a list here of things that might be helpful for people. Star of Bethlehem can relieve shock if a relationship ends abruptly or by surprise. Sweet chestnut can help sense of loss of grief that they experience if it's really extreme and it seems like nothing they do works and can't get past it and really stuck, then sweet chestnut can be helpful. Pines for guilt, willow for resentment, white chestnut for racing thoughts, holly for jealousy, suspicion, hatred. The list goes on. So basically, there's not one standard combination. And as a Bach Foundation registered practitioner and a Bach Foundation registered animal practitioner, we're not allowed to make prepackaged remedies. And there are people out there doing this. There are lots of people on the internet saying, this remedy is a remedy for menopause. But the reality is, there is no combination that is right for everyone. Everyone is different. There might be a few things that are kind of common to most people, but people react differently. And we want to customize it to the way what you're feeling so that you're not taking remedies you don't need. and you're getting the remedies that you do need, all of the remedies, not just some. So at any rate, this list is helpful for people to go down and choose which things sound like they resonate with them. Oh yeah, I could use this. Okay. So then you can customize your own blends based on these blog articles. Okay. So I think that they are pretty helpful that way. Let's see, where's go back here. Go back to the list here. Um, yeah, anxiety, sexual dysfunction, eating disorders, and some of these like eating disorders, they've 5,795 views. Learning disorders, addiction, 12,948 views. PTSD, 8,600. Depression. So yeah, a lot of good information there. So that can help you choose. But if you don't want to have a consultation, but that's always the best way. And there's a list of additional resources here as well. And I've got to update a couple things in here as well. So, and these are active links. So you can to the Bach Center, suicide crisis line, animal healers, etc. So good information there. Let me go back here and see, are there any other questions? Let's see, chat here. Okay. Any other questions? So let's open it up, see if anyone has anything else they want to cover. I would like to customize it for, again, I would like to address your specific concerns rather than giving you something that you don't need or want or you've already heard before. So please pipe up and ask your questions.
Don't be shy.
Here we go. No, there it is. Are the consultations online and in person? It depends. I do consultations in person here in Seattle. If you live locally, that's fine. I have people who drive up from Federal Way and from Tacoma, but we can do them online as well. And I can mail the remedies. It costs $10 more, but then again, you might be spending $10 in gas if you were to drive and sitting for an hour. You know what I mean? So $10, what's $10 worth? You know what I mean? It may not be worth saving $10 to spend an hour in the car, driving from Bellingham or 2 hours or whatever, or even from Tacoma at times. It can be ridiculous. So depending upon where you are and what is convenient for you, we can do Zoom, we can do telephone, we can do FaceTime calls, video calls, or in person. And I generally work out of my home. And so you're welcome to come here. Any other questions?
Not that I see.
Is there any way for people on the streaming Facebook to ask questions? Are there questions there?
Yes, there is a comment section. I don't see any questions at this time. However, this video will be shortly on YouTube too. So if anyone has any questions on there or on Facebook, feel free to tag the Marlene's page so then I will see that right away, that additional questions.
And I'm going to put up my email address, BFRP. So you can actually send me an email to ask the questions or call me for that matter.
Even better. Thanks, Carl.
If something comes to you later, if you're just being shy, you don't want to do it online now, you can call me or email me and I'd be glad to answer your questions. So I'm here, I'm available. So
thank you so much, Carl. You are such a resource to this community.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you are too, because seriously, there used to be, as you probably remember, the Bach Flower Remedies used to be sold, the entire line used to be sold everywhere. Whole Foods, Zenith Supply, which is a massage store here in Seattle, which now closed. It went out of business. Just literally like in the last 6 months or something. 6 months ago, I think, 8 months ago. I was shocked. So they survived through most of COVID and then just went under. but they were in all the PCC stores. They were in the co-ops. You could buy the flower remedies virtually in any health food store, practically. Now, Whole Foods started only carrying the rescue line, and everyone else did the same. So they've all pulled them out except for the rescue line. And now the last chain that carries them full line is Sprouts. But we just had a teachers meeting, a Bach teachers meeting, and all the teachers in the U.S. and Britain, and Sprouts is now only going to be selling these 3 remedy kits that have come out. So you can't buy individual remedies. They're getting rid of the whole line, but there are some things like for grief, they have a package that has gorse, sweet chestnut, and mustard or something like that. And so you can buy these. Sprouts has actually asked them to make these, and so they're making them for them and putting them out there. So you'll have to buy 3 remedies at a time, which is triple the price, obviously, and might include some things that you don't need or want if you wanted to go get them there. So Marlene's is doing a great service by committing to carrying the entire line individually, which is fantastic. You're one of a kind, and we all should cherish it and support them. So I encourage you, please buy your remedies from Marlene's.
Oh, thank you so much, Carl.
Seriously, like there used to be a really great store in Seattle called East West Books that was kind of a cross between Whole Foods and, well, actually not so much Whole Foods, but they had it was basically a bookstore, but they had a lot of new age books and health related books, and they gave lectures and whatnot. I would give lectures there. They're gone. They went out of business too, and just closed up. And Marlene's is like a cross of what Whole Foods used to be and what East West Books used to be. So you're getting the best of both worlds because they sell beautiful books and gifts, and they sell great organic foods, and they sell Bach Flower Remedies and homeopathy, and it's becoming a rare find. We are so lucky to have. We don't have that here in Seattle. I have to drive down to Federal Way to go to Marlene's, right, or to Tacoma. So there's nothing in Seattle. That's the closest is Marlene's. So they're a gem, and we all need to keep them around for another 100 years, right? Another
Hey,
75. How it's 1970 something. You guys just 50.
1976, so we are heading towards
Yeah.
48 this year, this April.
So we want to keep you at least another 50 years.
Yes, please. Thank you, Carl. That's so kind. And
No, but it's true. It's like you're amazing, and I've brought people when I drive down to chiropractor in Tacoma, and I've brought people to them and I've stopped at Marlene's, and they were like, "Oh my God, this place is amazing!" So I turned you on to a lot of Seattleites.
oh,
Like,
that's
incredible, and
wonderful.
the deli is great. Everything. So
Oh yeah, and our produce section is 100% organic.
that's amazing because Whole Foods is not. That it's maybe 30-40%. It's less than half, I swear. So
That is
yeah,
unreal.
yeah, you guys are really a gem. So
No, well, so are you. So let's keep
well,
shining
thank you.
together.
No more questions, huh?
No more
Okay. Well,
questions.
I
No.
hope I didn't disappoint anybody, and I hope I didn't leave out too much because I usually go overtime. Anyway,
Well, thank you again. It was a
oh,
fabulous presentation.
actually, I did forget something. So let's we've got a couple minutes because I specifically created a different end of slideshow show. I'm going to close that, and then I'm going to go over here. There was a separate little presentation, a list. Key, there we go. And I'm going to close this guy, and don't save that. Okay, let's get here. We've got a few more minutes here. Let's go to share. Okay, so these are the key remedies that I kind of highlighted for. So centauri, so related to matters of the heart. So if one doesn't value one's own needs, it's important to like have self-love too. So crabapple is for like self-esteem and self-worth. And so centauri helps you put your own needs first. So a lot of people are too altruistic. They're always giving, 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 and they can't accept and they actually deplete themselves. Centauri helps you take care of yourself first. It's just like, being on an airplane. If there's a problem, the oxygen masks come down. They always say in those videos, put your own mask on first and then help your loved ones, right? If you don't take care of yourself, you're of no use to anybody else. But once you do, you can actually give and give. You've got energy and you don't deplete yourself. So Centauri helps you prevent you from depleting yourself. Serato helps you trust your own judgment, which is another part related to that. Now, chicory is for those who are like over possessive and controlling. So, like in a relationship, if one is kind of controlling and just kind of that's chicory behavior. So it's not ideal. Holly is for jealousy, suspicion, revenge, that things that can get into relationships and cause problems. Honeysuckles for dwelling in the past, not getting over a past relationship or being homesick, nostalgic. Honeysuckle helps you move forward. Mimulus is for fears and worries, so fear of abandonment, fear of losing your partner or whatever. Pine for guilt, self-blame. So kind of a little corollary to self-love is self-blame, um, taking responsibility, beating yourself up, right? Um, I don't have rock water on here. I meant to add rock water because rock waters can also beat themselves up because they're perfectionists and they can be too hard on themselves for not achieving more, like perfection is an impossible goal. It's a nice idea, but in reality, it doesn't exist, right? Um, red chestnuts for over concern for loved ones. So if you're really worried about the love, there's a difference between chicory and red chestnut. Red chestnut is genuinely concerned about somebody because they have a specific problem. Your your sister might have a kidney issue and she may need surgery at some point if and you're worried about that, right? Chicory is kind of a makeup problems because they're kind of busybodies and they make up issues and they're worried. It's really for their own lack of love. They feel like they need to be needed, so they make up issues that aren't really there. So they create problems, really, right? And that's what the helicopter model is, right? Scleranthus can help you decide for indecision, like if there's an issue going on in a relationship, should I stay or should I go? Helps Scleranthus is amazing at helping you make decisions. Star of Bethlehem's for grief, shock, and trauma, and all of those can be in relationships. There are surprises and hurdles and things to deal with relationships. Sweet chestnut is for exasperation. It's the dark night of the soul. So if you keep trying and trying and nothing seems to work, and you get exasperated and just so frustrated, that's sweet chestnut. And willows for resentment. So again, these are all things that can be. There are a lot of there are other remedies. This isn't even half of them, and they all can be helpful. But these are ones that came to mind as being important in relationship, dealing with relationships, and can cause grief, whatnot. All right. Any questions that was raised, or
Let's see.
no?
I'm gonna check the Facebook Live here. Any questions, folks? Does not look like it. Let's see here in the
Okay.
meantime. What a great list. Thank you so much for compiling that and
You're
providing
welcome.
that great article. I know that um we've all lost um family and loved ones, and the article on grieving, I'm gonna reread, so that'll be a really good one. And I took a picture of the slide So thank you
Good.
very much.
Yeah. So yeah, check out those blog articles because they can be really helpful in helping you figure out. And like I say, at that point, if you wanted to, you had come up with a list of things that you want filled and me to send you. You've saved $30 there because it's less than a half an hour. It's only $30 plus the shipping. So you save money from having a consultation, which would be 60 plus the shipping. Um,
Which
so they
is
can help
such a
you.
good deal.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and why not try anything you can that can help shift your mindset and energetic being?
They do work. And what's amazing, like if I had to put in, say, 2 words, what people feel with the remedies is typically people feel a sense of peace and um, possibility. It it doesn't, they don't change the actual situation, but they change your perspective. And all of a sudden, it's like, I can deal with this. There's a way out. I'm not stuck. And then that gives them a sense of calm, peace. So it's really quite amazing. Um, so yeah, video just froze. Okay.
Hopefully it's not right now. I don't
All
see.
right.
Well, we're gonna say goodbye to our Facebook Live friends. Thank you so much, everyone, for
Bye.
tuning in. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Definitely. Oh, yay! Thank you. And definitely get in touch with Carl for a personal consultation or stop into any Marlene's Market for your own Bach Flower remedies.
Sounds
I
good.
use the rescue remedy pretty much every time I hop on a call. So there's that.
Great.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.